I am now.
Okay. Hi, it's Alphonso here in Madras, or Chennai as it is, in June 2011. I've managed to find the cemetery which has the famous graves of the Alphonso tragedy that occurred in 1898. And as I understand the story, which was handed down to me by my father, was that of the 8 children in the Alphonso, my dad's dad family, there were 8 children, the eldest being Joseph, my great-grandfather, and the youngest being Eustace. In between them, there were 6 other children who died quite tragically. One afternoon, someone came to the house and offered them sweets which were poisoned, and within one afternoon 3 or 4 of the children died one after each other, which would have been quite amazing for my great-grandmother to witness 50% of her family wiped out. The youngest, which is this grave over here, is Cyril Carroll, who was just 5 years and 1 month old when he died. Okay. And right next to the youngest was the next youngest, which was Agnes Mary, and she was just 7 years and 11 months, who also died on the 16th of December 1898, as you can see. The third one, which is Patrick John, also died on the 16th of December 1898, and he was aged 14 years. We understand that there was a 4th one called Reginald Carroll, who also died at the same time. But for some reason, his grave is just not here. It's not represented over here. And we've looked around and asked questions, and we can't find anything. So, as we understand it, 4 children died in an afternoon. But here's the tragedy that kept going in this amazing story, because right next to it, over here, is another grave, which is Ernest Aloysius, who was just 18 years old and died 12 days later. Imagine that, 12 days later.
Mom, get up.
Now, as my dad told me the story, Ernest Aloysius was in fact not poisoned, but he was suffering from some sort of illness, which is in today's something like appendicitis or something quite similar. And in today's medicine wouldn't have been an issue. But as my dad told the story, they did not tell him of the death of his siblings because he was upstairs in another room. And when they carried out the funeral, they did it and did not tell him anything to avoid upsetting him. And in fact, as Dad tells me the story, he came to the window to see what was going on, and he saw the 4 coffins being carried out, and figured out something was wrong. And they found him later in the house when they came back from the funeral, dead of a ruptured appendix or something like that from memory. So this is again stories being passed down from me. But the tragedy doesn't end over here, because right next to it is yet another grave of Charles James Alexander, also the son of J.A. Alphonso, who died literally 6 months later at the age of 20. So what we have here in Chennai is this amazing chronicle of a family which is our ancestors, which were basically wiped out. 6 of the 8 children died over a period of 6 months. 4 of them one afternoon, 1 12 days later, and 1 6 months later. I can't imagine what my great-grandmother or great-grandfather would have felt having to experience that. As a father myself, no idea. But here we are in Chennai. If you take a look, you can see that this is probably the end of the graves. There is a construction going on over here. We've been told that the graves are likely to be moved or wiped out because the land has been sold. These graves are very old. So this could well be the last time we'll be capturing these graves if the Alphonsos want to see it. So I decided to take a video, and we're going to talk to them and see if we can do something to maintain that as best we can, but not sure if that can happen. Okay. The story of the Alphonso tragedy. Cut.